Yeah, we're back with part 2, No-Kayfaben.com. Did you and Punk have some heat?
When? Before?
Ever, yeah. Did you and Punk ever have some
We've
heat?
had some heat in the past, based on what happened in Ring of Honor. And he was kind of like the spokesman for them, and I had pissed off a lot of guys, maybe that didn't really want to get involved, but he was adamant in speaking his mind, I guess, on what he thought wrestling etiquette was. And I definitely, after watching the video, and I still say to this day, and I don't lie, that I was knocked out. I don't remember any of it, but I watched it like 10 times, and I've been a little bit embarrassed that it happened, that I did it, and I can't change it. So, but again, CM Punk, I guess, took it upon himself to sort of be the police officer of the Ring of Honor company, and based on his success in the future, maybe it was the right thing. It was the right position he was in. He was given that position for a reason. I didn't know him well enough to say one thing good or bad. All I know is he didn't like me based on some shit I did, and I didn't really didn't take responsibility for it because I was knocked out. But at the end of the day, I was it still happened, and it was me. So for whatever it's worth, I do apologize. And CM Punk was a guy that, for whatever it's worth, again, he took the high road later on, as I mentioned before, letting me in a show and kind of letting me off the hook. So we had some heat, and from what I see, what I would think now, it's probably I would think squashed. I don't know if he'll say I'm a good guy or he likes me, but definitely don't think there's any more heat.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. Let me ask you a question, dude. What do you think about the controversy that you get? What are your thoughts on that?
A lot of it's bullshit hype and excuses for guys not to work me. So as long as there's an excuse and a problem and some scenario that I'm gonna cause a riot or whatever the story is, I think it's a lot of hype, a lot of bullshit. Really, if it's something I've done that's cost the fans from seeing a good match, then I apologize. But at the same time, you want a guy that's gonna be I would think somewhat real. And I still say Teddy Hart's the realest motherfucker in wrestling out there for what I am. There's a lot of gangster guys out there that are in wrestling now based on J-Train opening the doors for a lot of these guys, these rappers and stuff to get in. But for me, I would think I do my best to make sure you guys get to see someone that's going to make you remember my name, and it also makes you remember, or makes you, I hope, think wrestling's crazy and cool enough to tell your friends about still, because there's some guys out there that are, wacky, revolutionary characters you've never seen anywhere else, and you couldn't see them anywhere else. Wrestling allows that to happen. There's no rules. So.
Yeah. Next question was where you think the heat comes from. So you basically saying that people don't want to work with you, so that's why. It's just excuses basically.
Well, let's just say even like 60% of the heat's caused by me, and 40% of it's bullshit. My job's now is try to the guys that are left in wrestling, or the guys that I can still work, try to eliminate that heat and that controversy. So now you remember me not because of something controversial, but because I was putting on classic matches. If that helps you understand. I really want to be remembered as a guy that was one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and I had a really cool style. I did a little bit of everything. If you could say that I was the most well-rounded wrestler on the planet, that would be my goal in the future. So the controversy and again, if it's there, and if it was there, I hope it's going to be eliminated soon. And the reason it's there partially is because I didn't want to do that much either. So the controversy sort of allowed me to get out of work, and it allowed a lot of other guys to get out of having to put their names on the line and put a match on. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I guess. Alright. Do you have heat with Bret Hart?
I guess I have a little bit of heat with Bret. I think Bret could have done a lot more for Alberta wrestling in general. And
for what?
Alberta wrestling, where I come from, my province.
Oh, Alberta, I'm sorry.
And I think Bret could have done a little bit more for his kids. Personally, his 2 sons. And I'm not the best father in the world, but I have a 9-year-old son, and I know better than having him do certain things and hang out with certain people. So I give him the kind of respect that he lives with my parents and he deals with my dad, who's a great role model and basically a perfect citizen. Wherein I just, again, with Bret, question being, do I have heat with Bret? I just think Bret had the power of Superman, and he could have done a lot more with his power, and he didn't. And at the same time, Bret Hart still made me and my name and my family's name an international name of respect, and a story that a lot of people definitely believed was that Bret was in the right in his explanation of what happened with Vince McMahon. So for me to get too mad at Bret or forget that he was a legend and he went through a lot of shit and he lost his brother and a lot of friends in the business would be selfish for me to do. But at the same time, for me to let Bret off the hook completely for certain things would also be me being a hypocrite. Or kissing your ass in a promo because I want to get a job from Bret later, but I don't really give a fuck if Bret likes me or not. I would want Bret to look me in the eye, man to man, in a dark alley by himself 10 years ago when he's got a good set of legs on him. And that to me, eye to eye, man to man, one on one, and the street. If Bret decided after that to give me a hug because he thought enough of what I had to do, because he decided to climb up on the same garbage can I did, and 4 feet up he looked down and said, holy shit, climbing to the top ropes to do a moonsault to keep the family name alive is pretty tough. And I would say with a tear coming down my eye, Bret, I did that because I believe so much in the hitman character on TV, the hero, the good guy, the comebacks you fucking fought, the way Bret Hart would put a match together, the story he always told. And I believe Bret Hart was a good man and a hero, so I always wanted to do things that would ensure that Bret's name stayed alive. So if Bret did get healthy enough to come back, he'd stand beside me someday. And he never did, and it broke my heart a bit. But I'm not bitching or crying over spilt milk, and I'm not gonna, like I say, diss Bret Hart as a wrestler. And I definitely don't know him that well as a person, because Bret Hart's a busy guy, man. He doesn't have time to know his own kids, because Vince McMahon put him on, like I say, one of the hardest schedules ever. So I have a little heat. But at the same time, I'm maybe hoping Bret will, because he's still alive and we can still do something about it, become my friend in the future and put his name on Teddy Hart, not in WWE, but in Mexico.
You're going to be with him over there tomorrow. What do you think?
Well, hopefully I'll get a good workout in tonight, and I'll be fresh and ready to go, and I'll put on a good show, and Bret will get to see me carrying on the family name, and hopefully he'll, again, maybe change his opinion of me, which I think his opinion of me is that I could be reckless and crazy, and he doesn't know what I'm going to do next. So for a guy like Bret, maybe that's something he has a hard time putting his name and that he's worked so hard for and his legacy behind someone who he doesn't have a clue if I'm fucking crazy or not. And again, I'm a good actor. My job is to play that character, but sometimes I play that character so well that people really believe I'm fucking nuts. So...
Do you still run a school in Calgary?
No, I live in Edmonton now, and that's right beside Calgary. It's 2 hours away, and I run a school up there now. And these two guys actually are two students of mine. And when I say students, these are guys that just basically they were already. This is Steve and this is Andrew Hawks, and these are guys that I never specifically trained how to wrestle, but I think they watched me. And they have a very similar way of living their life. He's a very nice guy, very generous, takes care of a lot of people. He's one of my coaches. That's Andrew. And Steve's one of my students, again, more along the lines of a guy that lives with me. He eats, sleeps, and breathes professional wrestling. And I respected that so much that I gave him an opportunity to live at my house. So he's the first live-in student I have, actually, that wakes up in the morning and gets to see Teddy Hart, you know, basically,
doing push-ups.
Yeah, at absolutely my bare minimal level of waking up right in the morning, pissed off, arguing with my wife, yelling at my cat because this guy's fighting with his dad or something crazy, at the same time seeing me for who I really am. And if I was an asshole or a fake, this guy wouldn't be here, and neither would this guy. My job, just like with Jack Evans, is to get some guys noticed at the same time, right? So yeah, of course I run a school. My job is to always run a school and to ensure that wrestling survives, and to ensure guys that have the balls to call themselves professional wrestlers and go to the gym and eat, sleep, and breathe it, they get a chance to wrestle in front of some real good crowds. 1,000 real fans in PWI or PWS, I'm sorry, means a lot. It's like wrestling in front of 5,000 fans. But 5,000 fans is a pretty good feeling. If you got 5,000 Mexican fans, That's really cool. Try 15,000 in a building, and that's that ecstasy I talk about every day in the wrestling ring that you can't get from any other sport out there. Where you make rich people, poor people, 9 to 5 people, anywhere, anytime, any place, in any language, happy with the illusion of magical wrestling. Where you take some guy's life, which everyone has, their lungs, their legs, their neck, and you attempt to make it look like you're going to kill him. And of course, it's an illusion, it's an art, and my job is to continue making sure that happens. So my guys in my school, more than me training them so much, these guys are the guys that I watched that learned from me not saying anything, but from the videos and from the little secrets and the tricks along the way. And they proved it with their effort in the ring, and these are the guys that now carry on the Hart banner, they're part of the new Hart Foundation.
Oh, wow. Alright, y'all can both talk on this.
What's good?
Alright, I don't know, you ever been to TNA? You ever worked there?
No.
Not at all? Alright, it's alright, it's alright, but I still want you to elaborate on something. You did something there?
I did a shoot interview with Homicide there. When they interviewed Homicide and I was included with the interview, they asked me questions, so that was only what they actually did.
Alright. So, you've been in ROH and TNA, both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, I want you to elaborate, both of y'all. Alright, when it gets to ROH, you work there, I know you work there. Where do you think is better? What are your thoughts on, like, your thoughts on both comparison, like, you know? I don't know.
I can't even, Ring of Honor's got a very smart kind of fan, where TNA is still kind of your carnival wrestling fan, so to speak, if that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, Ring of Honor is more of an older, definitely a smarter fan base that remembers more who made the move up. They're better historians of wrestling and independent wrestling.
Indie.
Yeah, it's a real independent promotion. Where TNA is a wannabe of the WWE. And no offense, TNA is a great company, and I respect you guys. I'd like to work for you in the future if it's possible, along the right lines. But it's a little bit of like shooting fish in a barrel, because you're really not bringing fans in that want to watch wrestling, and you're not bringing in a new crowd base, a new fan base. Really, they're being brought into the building for something else on top of the free pop with the free cinnamon bun, right? Like you're eating a cinnamon bun right now. So it's like you're not just there for the wrestling, and you're there for 4 things, right? So it's like sorry, guys.
Cool.
Where Ring of Honor was, it's only a wrestling show. It's like when you rent a. Sorry to get another analogy, but when you rent a prostitute, you know you're getting fucked. For sure, laid at least. I mean, when you go to a strip club, you're getting jerked off physically, mentally. You're not really getting anything out of it. If you really wanted to have sex, then save your money for the drinks and go for the sure thing. To me, Ring of Honor is a mystery. TNA is kind of like a sure thing. It's like getting a hooker and you paid for it. You
Alright,
know
so
for sure you're gonna get something out of that.
I'm gonna answer this question. My thoughts right away. Alright, off instincts would say you like ROH better.
Oh God, I spilled over my shirt. I'm so sorry, guys.
I liked it when Gabe was there.
Yeah.
When Gabe was there, that's when you was there.
Yep.
That's when I was there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it has presented a different style of wrestling, like the NWA Mid-Atlantic / ECW style of wrestling. You know, with that new exotic edge when it comes down to using moves.
Yeah.
And but it still comes down to psychology and wrestling. And, and that was missing.
That's old school. Old school.
X Division guys in TNA are awesome, and some of the guys they have, but the Ring of Honor's got a way different and more kind of wild. I would say.
But Ring of Honor, like Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels,
yeah,
they all came from
there, right?
Yeah. Y'all came from the Ring of Honor, they felt they graduated once they signed to TNA because they gave them more money.
TV too, right?
And it's all about the paper. Money, 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 money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and security. And they went to Hollywood for a quick minute. Walt Disney World. You know, so
Walt Disney World. I didn't. I don't know. I wouldn't. Why would you say that? I heard the pay wasn't all that over there.
It's still it's a little bit more than what Ring of Honor is giving you, so it's a step up. And a lot of guys want to feel like they've moved up in some sense.
Oh yeah.
I understand.
Right, so they're not in New York.
They graduated from the independent.
Even though the Ring of Honor might have actually been more fun and more of a challenge to them, but for whatever reason, it feels like you made the big times.
You wouldn't call it an indie.
TNA's not an
Not
indie.
now.
No.
TNA's not an indie. It never really was.
No.
Really?
I'm talking about Ring of Honor right now.
No, Ring of Honor's not an indie now.
Not either?
Yeah.
No.
They got their own TV slot.
TV is different. We're talking Ring of Honor 5 years ago, right? Versus Ring of Honor now. I don't know Ring of Honor now. I did not work for them. He may know that, but I don't. I'm talking Ring of Honor from years ago that I'm talking in comparison to TNA. Now I haven't been in TNA in years, so I can't say anything about it. I haven't been in Ring of Honor in years, so for me to talk about those things like I know would be fucking stupid. I don't know. I'm saying what I know is from the past, and that to me again, TNA was a really cool place to go, have a good time, kind of maybe meet the right people, but it wasn't a place where you challenge your skills for the wrestling world. Ring of Honor is where you go and you better be fucking razor sharp, because if you fuck up there, you're gonna hear you fucked up chants. If that makes sense again.
That's what it is.
Why do you think Wrestling Society X didn't last?
Bad luck, timing. A couple guys, maybe out of 20 guys that are on the roster, 30 guys on the roster, 10 of those guys should have never ever been there. And they got on the show anyway. I don't know how they did, but they did. And then if it was like I say, and just they lost their distribution deal, I think, too, somehow. I don't know what quite happened. So that was another really bad fuck up by them. So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
I read somewhere you consider dangerous because you did move unexpectedly. What are your take on that? What is your take on that?
Well, if I call every single move to you, to me it'll look way too choreographed. So there's certain things you need to know before I do it. Like if you're gonna catch me in a DDT and you're standing straight up and I decide to jump off with double knees to your face, that's kind of like fucking setting you up for a disaster. But if I tell you that I'm gonna do a DDT and I end up doing like a front flip neck breaker, basically all you're gonna do is stand there, and if I go over your head, you're gonna basically take a flat bump because that's the only safe thing you can do. So technically, if I overshot you halfway through the move, you're gonna help compensate with me and try to save the move. Out of that move, the only safe move out of that might be if you went over his head would be to try to catch a neck breaker. So planning your moves, like if the shooting star, your job is to lay there. If I decide not to do a shooting star and change it to a 450 because I think my legs are too tired, and I might hit your fucking face if I try the other move, I think that would be my call. Now, if you're going to then complain after the match, which is blowing kayfabe on top of that by saying Ted was supposed to do a shooting star and he did a 450, if I didn't hurt you, which I've never hurt anyone with any of my moves, technically they shouldn't have been bitching that they said I was going to do this, then I did this. Because changing moves or doing an unplanned move, if the guy doesn't know I'm going to do it, like I say, it's probably him just standing there and catching me. Because any other move in wrestling, try picking your 7-year-old kid up to do a pile driver if he's not going to help you do it. It's not happening. So again, an unplanned move is pretty hard to have an unplanned move in a planned sport like wrestling. Unless it's one of those things where you just lay there. And if you just lay there, then shut your eyes and fucking shut the fuck up, because chances are I hit the move 9 out of 10 times almost perfect. And you didn't know what I was going to do anyway. Because I might, and that's, so, yeah, that's a really, I hate when I hear that question, because it bothers me. There's a time and a place where, like in Ring of Honor, I did 2 unplanned moves, and I could have really hurt somebody underneath me, I guess, and I could have hurt myself, but really anything else I've done, it's quite,
that's a stamp right there.
Quite a long list of bullshit kind of excuses again that I did unplanned moves. More like I did stuff you had no clue what I was going to do because I didn't know what I was going to do because I was inventing it on the fly and it looked cool. So, and then guys get hot because they couldn't do it themselves and they're not creative enough.
Is it in that building where you're going to be at tomorrow, where you win the JAPW Heavyweight Championship?
Yes, sir. Absolutely is.
Alright. What's the feeling to be back in there?
I really love that building. A lot of great memories in that building.
What's the name of it?
The Rawway Rec Center.
Railway Rex.
I think that's what it's called, right?
Railway Rex. Yeah.
And just really good building, clean, nice showers, good bathrooms, police building, nice little gym in the back, and it's where I met Homicide, I met J-Train, like, and me and J-Train's very first there, but it's where we got to cultivate our friendship. He vouched for me one time, he didn't really know me that well, but he said, I think the guy's knocked out if he said he's knocked out. I'm going to take this guy's word for it, let's give the guy a break, we'll see later on if he's full of shit. That small window of opportunity kept me alive with enough guys because he was willing to say, one guy had to step up, because if it hadn't have been like that, it would have been like a riot. Where if one guy, two guys, three guys, four, by the time the fifth guy, sixth guy got on, it would have been a fucking shitstorm riot. And it would have, it was getting
by
crazy.
talent there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I saw disaster coming before you even went out there, B. I saw a lot of people hating on you. On the down low.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to keep it 100, because I know I keep it like that. 24/7. I'm Junior Smokes the Double Solo. So it is what it is. So I knew what was going on. So it wasn't no surprise once it took place. I was like, nah, he cool, B. I need to dead that, because y'all was hating on him from the beginning. Now we give him opportunity. So, you know, it is what it is, yo. You persevered. Good.
One of the only guys
He
there.
dinosaurs now, baby.
Yeah. We'll get back me up.
Your body's his temple, baby. You preserve that.
I still not too bad for all the stuff I've done. I'm pretty happy. God's kept me alive. Still got a lot left in my tank. So and the world's gonna hear my name again.
Like a snapback.
Alright, there's another question for both of y'all. What's something that goes through your mind about life itself? Anything that just, because I got things that I wonder about life, you know, like things, a lot of things, weird things. I ain't not gonna get into that. What's something that goes in your mind that, I don't know, maybe you never mentioned to nobody, or weird thing you maybe wonder about life, period, about anything?
I secretly think there's a group of I don't even know how to say it, like an alien entity, a being out there that preserves balance. So when you take too much or you hurt too much, or it's you're pulling the balance off, and it's a visual thing that's there all the time. It's constantly watching you, and it really does want you to do better. I believe there's a force that wants you to. That's what I think causes humans to evolve and come up with all these ideas and the science. And if there's not aliens on Earth that are making us so smart, the technological advances and stuff that we have, there's definitely like a voice in our head. Call it the conscience, but I think that voice is I think it's the world that's alive. Like the animals are alive. Like this cat might not be able to speak to me, but subconsciously he's saying thank you. To me, that I don't know how that again, like, and the reason he's saying thank you is because he's aware that there's about 1 million cats in Mexico, or how many other cats in Mexico that are suffering. So and why would he know that? Because he's from Mexico. So maybe like that force that, you know, like people think I'm crazy because I think animals have a voice, or I think there's a voice in the world, right? That if you take too much or you do too much bad, that's why I'm always my own referee. And I used to climb up to the top ropes because in my day-to-day life I questioned whether I was a good person sometimes, doing things that I didn't know because it's in a gray area, say with weed. And I would get an answer because the move I would do, I would hit it clean. I hadn't practiced and I wouldn't hurt anybody. So that was my reminder that maybe there's a universal force out there, something watching, a governor, a referee, an invisible force that really does want you to do good. But if you do bad, it's also like gas on the fire. There's so many hungry, good people out there that if you want to take your life and waste it, get the fuck off the planet as fast as you can, and this force will push you and take you and make you have 50 cigarettes instead of 2 because you shouldn't have had the first cigarette in the first place, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my thought, that there's someone watching you. Even when you don't think they're watching you, they're still watching you, the all-seeing eye kind of thing. So always watch yourself, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and be a good person, and that will help you live longer, and that will create a balance around you, kind of like a force field.
I like that. I like that. That's positive. That's good. Yours. I want to know yours. Same question.
You think about every day. What you think about every day?
Question you forgot?
Yeah. What you think about every day in life?
Right,
you know,
no. Just what? Excuse me.
No. Next question.
All right. What are your you know, anything that goes through your mind and a lot about life that you think about, something you don't talk about much, that, you know, something you wonder about, anything you ever wondered about. One thing.
Door, and you have to be an opportunist and seize the moment and enjoy the moment once it's there. Because life is like a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And I know I've been going through a lot of trials and tribulations, but at the same time, that's what it says in the Bible. You're gonna go through a little bit.
Of course.
While you here. You know what I mean? And no matter that's how you come out of situations and always land on my feet. Because I'm a survivor. You know what I mean? Belly of the Beast, concrete jungle.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a New Yorker, but at the same time, I lived in Virginia for a quick minute, southern state. You know, that's where I got my education from. But at the same time, when I came to New York City, this is the concrete jungle, baby. And you get in when you fit in. And I've been blessed to be around good people. You know what I mean? And
takes one to know one, though.
you have to believe in karma.
Of course.
What you put in life, you're gonna get out of it. You know what I mean? And you have to have the eye of the tiger. Literally. And nice people finish last. You know? And I just try to be poetry and motion. Keep myself surrounded around the same people like to do the things I like to do. So that's my message to everybody out there, y'all. Just keep yourself around the right people.
Sure.
Alright, this is for both of y'all too again. One guy in the industry today that any one of y'all would love to wrestle one day that y'all haven't.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
One.
Definitely.
Guy.
Just one only?
One guy. Alright, give me three then. If you want to make.
I would say Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio Jr., and I'd say Rob Van Dam. That are out there right now. I think those guys are still that would be really, really good matches and
Shawn ain't in the industry no more. He's not working.
Shawn, I think, is still a better wrestler than anyone in the industry right now as we speak. So if he wanted to come out of retirement, he'd still hand everyone their asses. I'm pretty fucking positive of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he does it either, but he always does. He comes back almost better every time he stops for a little while. He comes up with a couple new moves too, which is another impossible thing almost, but he's the showstopper for a reason. So
yeah. Three.
Wow.
You give me three. I want to hear y'all's. I really want.
I never had the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You know, I am the NDIW heavyweight champion of the world right now in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So I never had the opportunity to get in the ring with Teddy Hart. So that'd be somebody I like to wrestle.
Wow. He put a real smirk on his face. Yeah.
Why not, baby?
As soon as you
refereed a special one for me and Jack.
I like that. That was interesting.
So some of that exotic moves that he likes to do. And mix it in with the old school because he knows the basics in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And, also low-key.
Low-key, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled him in the old doghouse, and I was the only person there that beat him. 1, 2, 3, boom! Want me to drunken elbow? Oh yeah. And but low-key always been at a different level anyway, yo, cause he sleeps, eat, breathe, wrestling, and your body's a temple, and he exemplifies that in general. I mean, that's what he's all about.
No doubt.
So I like to go against somebody who really loves wrestling.
Yeah.
And also Homicide again. Because he's a fucking beast when it comes down to wrestling, yo. He loves it.
You wrestled Homicide before?
Yeah.
So you would make him one you want to wrestle again?
Yeah.
Alright, I said one you never wrestled.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I know Teddy was one. Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He was in that ROH event when
Black
I
on
seen
Black
you
Line.
that day.
Huh?
He was there that day when I seen you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was
Yeah,
there. I
definitely.
remember.
And also, you know, CM Punk. I never wrestled him before,
No doubt.
so that's good.
All right. One not in the business, past or present, whether rest in peace, dead or alive.
One more time?
One past or present.
Oh.
I mean, past or present. That's either alive, not alive. That
Junkyard Dog.
no doubt. It's give me three. You three, two, Teddy. Go ahead. You gave me one.
Chris Benoit,
Interesting.
Eddie Guerrero,
Mm.
and
Wow.
Andre the Giant.
Andre. No, I like that one. That was a good one. Andre. Oh my God. Two more for you.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And
Ricky.
yeah.
He wasn't in RH when you wasn't there. He was there.
Yeah,
right?
he was there.
You was there?
Yeah.
He was there, yeah.
And Ric Flair.
Like fair, no doubt. Three good choices. All right, Teddy, your thoughts on the formation of the Hart Foundation and WWE without you in it?
Never worked. There's no heart. There were hearts, but I'm the only. I'm the real heart that makes. I should only say that. Even I apologize to TJ and Harry on Natty because they're all.
Yeah. I was just thinking like.
I'm saying along the lines, but I would say I'm how the hell can you even say it more? The leader. I'm the oldest grandson. They always looked up to me.
Yeah.
So I was their balls in a sense. Without me
Okay,
there,
okay.
I was the guy that would kick open the door
Yeah,
and
no
get
doubt.
the extra stuff done.
I understand
You
that.
know what I mean? I'm not the kind of guy you can give a shitty finish to 4 times in a row. I'll bitch. You know what I mean? They won't. In that kind of a way though. I have a little. It's my job, I guess, because I'm controversial. I'm Teddy Hart. That's my job. Without me there, they're not going to say much. They're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you Tyson Kidd? Like, how did you get into that formation?
One of my best friends in the world. One of the nicest, toughest, fucking smartest guys I've ever met. Yeah.
How did he get into that formation?
Hung out with me his whole life.
Oh yeah.
And he was the other guy. He was, thank God for him, but he's the only guy that could pass out of me and Jack and him. He's the only one that could pass a piss test.
Wow. Alright, no doubt. We're gonna cut this short. We're gonna bring it back part 3. No-Kayfaben.com.